Staying with us. Now, we've been speaking this morning about the massive impact COVID-19 has had on various industries. Entertainment and indeed teaching have been hit hard, and musicians are looking to the digital world for answers. Award-winning jazz trumpeter Luanda Gogwana joins us now via Skype to discuss how he's navigating this tough period, this new normal that we keep hearing about. Luanda, thank you so much for joining us. We've spoken to various people about the impact that COVID-19 is already having. And just earlier, a publicist in the arts industry saying those in the music, in the arts, in the theatre world have already been hit hard. Talk to us very quickly about what kind of impact you have felt as a professional musician and teacher.
Hi there, Marcel. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Yes, it's a big problem, it's a big issue, and I think it's a global one. But if I just focus on my sort of sector as a musician, as a session musician, shows are cancelled, venues are closed down, and most of the sort of lower sort of end income of musicians are session musicians with no contracts. So loss of income is also felt there. As a teacher, I can't go now to a school and teach. I have to try and, and make means and try to come up with sort of strategies of how to still teach while I'm still at home.
Now, as you're speaking, we're showing the little video that you posted on social media this week, which you've had some fun with, but really putting yourself out there to say this part of our daily life doesn't need to stop. Indeed, some would say we now need music now more than ever, but you put yourself out there saying, let's learn music, let me teach you online. Tell us a bit about that.
Definitely. I think it's where we're actually really trying to make our voice the loudest, the most as musicians to the government, to sort of create some sort of gazette, some sort of government gazette where in this period we start, seeing how we can live or sort of cope during these circumstances. Like we're trying to ask the government to fund digital or virtual platforms in which musicians can earn money, and even the advertising industry can come on board there and promote their brands on those platforms.
What kind of impact, or how different is it to teach somebody music over the internet?
Well, I've sort of informally, or at least tried to utilize the platforms that I know South Africans use, like WhatsApp video calls. I sit at home and I've got my piano here. This is where I teach. This is my space, and I teach using your smartphones or even video call on laptops to still continue at a reduced cost to continue making an income as a teacher. And I just do video calls, and musicians are sitting at their homes, and most of them are school kids which are home already. So that's what I've tried to do as an individual and as a teacher and as a performer at home. So it's been difficult, but I think it's a global sort of crisis, and everybody's being affected. I think the most important thing is where everybody sort of comes together to alleviate or be lenient. Landlords, financial institutions, some sort of financial relief where everybody sort of understands we're in the same page here.
Just very quickly, before I let you go, I already see that there are some people in your industry that are trying to move things along so that they can keep their pot stirring, as it were. Teaching is one thing, but at the core of what you love is performing. I did see a post last night from your, I suppose, your brother in the horn, or whatever you would call it, Mandisi. He's going to do a performance later next week where people, I think, through Quicket can pay a certain amount per household, and now we're going to create these virtual audiences where you can still perform. Do you think that we're going to be seeing more of that?
I definitely think so, and that's because Wi-Fi or the internet is not as stable as is needed during this time. That everybody's going to be conducting live streams, and this is where we need the government to fund these platforms. There's a way in which government can fund and have stable bandwidth that can handle a live stream, and also in which musicians can then as little as 10 rand, just to charge people to enter this space of where they will be platforming their music.
Okay, we're going to leave it.
Also,
Unfortunately, we're losing your signal there, unfortunately. Thank you so much for joining us. Jazz trumpeter, award-winning jazz trumpeter, as well as a trumpet teacher and piano teacher, Luanda Gogwana, speaking to us live there via Skype from the room where he's now turned his teaching world into a digital world. We'll be seeing more and more of that. And indeed, if you want to hear some of the lovely sounds that Luanda puts out there, you can go onto his social media platforms. We thank him for his time this morning.